Do you ever wonder what's lurking in your pantry, masquerading as your innocent snack? Well, wonder no more because today we're diving into the thrilling world of carbohydrates. Oh yes, fasten your seatbelts and hide your cookies because we're about to expose a carb that's sneakier than your ex sliding into your DMs. Maltodextrin, or commonly known as a modified starch, in various food and beverage products. So, Dr. Eric Berg, a man who probably considers a wild night to be reading glycemic index charts, dropped a bombshell on us. He says there's a carb more deadly than sugar. Maltodextrin sounds like the name of a villain in a low-budget sci-fi, doesn't it? Beware of maltodextrin, devourer of worlds and spiker of blood sugar. But no! It's just a little additive hiding in your food, pretending to be all innocent while it wreaks havoc on your insides. Now, let's zoom in on the ubiquity of maltodextrin. This sneaky carb is like the ultimate party crasher. It's everywhere! You're munching on some chips, enjoying a bowl of cereal, or sipping on a light beer, and bam! Think about it. You're strolling through the grocery store, thinking you're picking up all the right stuff. Whole grain bread? Check. Healthy protein powder? Check. But little do you know, you've just invited maltodextrin to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's talk about infant formulas. Yes, folks, this crafty carb isn't just targeting us adults. It's going after the babies, too. Imagine just trying to give your little bundle of joy a good start, and there's maltodextrin sneaking into their meals like a sugar-coated wolf in sheep's clothing. Soups and dressings? Those innocent bystanders of the culinary world aren't safe either. You think you're adding a little flavor to your salad or warming up with a nice bowl of soup, but what you're really doing is spoon-feeding maltodextrin right into your system. And energy drinks, oh the irony. You're chugging them down, thinking you'll get a nice boost, but what you're really getting is a roller coaster ride for your blood sugar, courtesy of our friend maltodextrin. Now, protein powders. You're at the gym, feeling good, getting those gains, but lurking in your supposedly muscle-building shake is maltodextrin, turning your healthy habit into a hidden sugar fest. And don't even get me started on the zero carbohydrates claim. Thanks to some nifty industry loopholes, companies can list maltodextrin as having zero carbs if it's under a certain amount per serving. But here's the thing, folks. These servings are often so tiny you'd need a microscope to see them. So, while you think you're being carb conscious, you're actually gobbling down this sneaky sugar substitute by the spoonful. We've got more aliases for maltodextrin than a spy has in an entire career. Yes! This master of disguise goes by many names. First up, we have dextrin. Sounds harmless, right? Almost cute, but don't be fooled. It's just maltodextrin in a fake mustache trying to sneak past your defenses. Then there's modified food starch. How fancy. It's like calling a used car pre-loved transportation. And glucose syrup? That's maltodextrin's sweet-talking cousin. Corn starch and food starch are next. These are like the Clark Kents of the maltodextrin world. They seem mild-mannered and unassuming, but underneath, they're just waiting to turn into Superman and wreak havoc on your metabolism. And last but not the least, corn syrup. The name might conjure up images of cornfields and sunshine, but don't be swayed by the pastoral fantasy. But why, you might ask, does maltodextrin need all these aliases? Well, folks, it's all part of the grand plan to keep you in the dark. It's like a criminal mastermind with multiple fake passports. If one identity gets compromised, it just switches to another. And let's not forget, these names aren't just for show. They're there to confuse, to obfuscate, to make you throw up your hands and say, well, it sounds scientific, so it must be okay. But wait, there's more! Just when you thought maltodextrin couldn't get any more devious, let's talk about the health impacts. Oh yes, this carb is not just crashing the party, it's trashing the place and leaving a mess for your body to clean up. First off, maltodextrin spikes your blood sugar more than sugar itself. It's like getting a turbo boost when you're already late for work. Unnecessary and downright stressful. And gut inflammation? Oh! It's like throwing a wild party in your digestive system. And guess what? You're not invited. Maltodextrin is in there, turning your gut into a battleground, and the good bacteria are losing. Let's talk about your microbiome. This is the community of microbes living in your gut, and they're pretty important for your health. Well, maltodextrin is like the bad neighbor who moves in and changes the whole neighborhood vibe. It alters the microbiome, reducing the diversity of those good bacteria. And leaky gut? That's when the walls of your intestine get a little too friendly and start letting things through that they shouldn't. Maltodextrin might as well be the bulldozer making those holes. Now, let's not forget that maltodextrin is highly processed. It often comes from GMO corn, which is about as natural as a plastic tree. This stuff is stripped of any protective vitamins and minerals found in natural starches. It's like taking a fruit, removing all the good stuff, and then wondering why it doesn't taste sweet anymore. And the processing. They take this corn, which probably never saw a field in its life, and then they acid wash it, chop it up, and turn it into this Frankenstein's monster of a carb. But here's the real horror show, folks. When maltodextrin spikes your blood sugar, your body goes into panic mode. It's like setting off the fire alarm every time you cook toast. Your insulin levels spike, and over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, which is a VIP ticket to Diabetesville. And the inflammation? It's not just a little bloating or discomfort. We're talking long-term chronic inflammation that can lead to serious health issues. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Maltodextrin isn't just a bad date. It's a full-on relationship disaster for your body. It's the kind of carb that you don't just swipe left on. You throw the whole phone away. But fear not, my friends. Knowledge is your shield and label reading your sword. Arm yourself with awareness, and you can protect your kingdom of health from the marauding maltodextrin and its band of processed owls. All right, folks, strap in, because we're about to dive into the murky waters of regulatory loopholes. First up, we've got the Houdini act of maltodextrin being classified as zero carbs. That's right. Despite its significant content, it pulls a vanishing trick on the nutritional label. And then there's the grand illusion of labeling it as a carbohydrate, not sugar. This allows it to be marketed as sugar-free. Because of these loopholes, maltodextrin is sneaking into health foods, masquerading as a benign ingredient. Now let's talk about the infamous GRAS designation. Generally recognized as safe. Sounds reassuring, right? But here's the catch. It's often industry regulated rather than FDA approved. This GRAS loophole is like a backstage pass for all sorts of substances to slip into the food supply. It's the regulatory equivalent of a bouncer taking a bribe to let underage kids into a club. It's about taking control, folks, in a world where maltodextrin is lurking around every corner. Wearing a disguise and whispering sweet nothings into your blood sugar's ear, you've got to be on guard. You've got to be the hero in this story, armed with the superpower of skepticism. So, what can we do? We can start by demanding transparency. We can ask questions, challenge claims, and call out the magicians for their tricks. And let's not forget the power of our choices. Every time you put something in your shopping cart, you're casting a vote. You're saying, I choose health over hocus pocus. You're choosing to be the informed consumer who doesn't fall for the old switcheroo. So, let's raise our glasses to a future where our food is as honest as we hope it to be. Where zero carbs means zero, not just kidding. Where sugar-free doesn't come with a side of metabolic mayhem. Maltodextrin is pervasive, sneaky, and potentially harmful. It's the ninja of the carb world, and it's up to us to shine a spotlight on it. By understanding its effects and its omnipresence, we can make informed choices. We can say no to the hidden sugars and yes to transparency and health. So, what's the game plan? We become label detectives. We learn the lingo, the aliases, the secret handshakes. We turn every shopping trip into a mission, every meal into a statement. We don't just eat. We make choices, informed, empowered choices. Remember, this isn't a solo mission. Spread the word. Share your knowledge. If you see a friend about to fall into the maltodextrin trap, be their guide. Together, we can create a ripple effect, a wave of awareness that transforms the food industry and our health. And there you have it, folks. The grand finale of our epic saga against the stealthy specter of maltodextrin. As we draw the curtains on this culinary caper, remember, you're not just a bystander in this story. You're the hero, armed with the superpower of knowledge and a shield of skepticism, ready to face the deceptive dragon of hidden sugars. Until we meet again on the battlefield of health and well-being, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay wonderfully, gloriously, uniquely you. Farewell, intrepid health warriors, and remember, in the world of nutrition, you're not just surviving, you're thriving.